Hello and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showcasing a few of my sketchbooks. These first three small ones are from 2013, 2014, and 2015. Some older sketchbooks. Later I'll be showing some more recent work. And at the end of the video, I will be creating an all-new sketch, so please stick around for that. As you'll see in these sketchbooks, these first three, I concentrated mostly on my pen and ink work. I also incorporated a lot of marker, and a few pieces I did some watercolor as well. But as for the pen and ink work, like what you see here, it kind of started to evolve into what I call my scribble technique, which is just as it sounds. You start off scribbling and you kind of see what you come up with from there. It's all about practice and having fun. Some of the work is roughs for larger pieces, some like that. I had no idea what I was doing until something started to form from the scribbles. These next few pieces are when I was stuck in airports. Very handy during long layovers. That big floating guy there is after I had a terrible airport cookie. And there is my one watercolor piece that I did while in Barbados. Everything thereafter is while I was at home in my studio. I did a lot of experimenting with different tools. That there is a rough for a greeting card. Some of these pieces also ended up being the roughs for larger pieces. There's one where I incorporated marker. I really like that effect. The contrast of the light and dark with the paper and the ink, and then the nice middle ground that you get with the markers. Some sort of Mad Max vehicle. Yes, some of these, like I mentioned, I had no set direction while I sat down to sketch, but I just wanted to get something down on the paper. End of the first one. Now we move on to 2014. In this one I worked more using markers as well. I had some really good pieces in this one. I also studied a couple of different artists while I was working on this one. That is based on John Ken Mortensen's work. He works with sticky notes, like post-it notes, these teeny little pieces, but he does so much great work on those. Most of the pieces in here, I started with pen and ink. Then I moved on to markers of various shades, starting from lightest, ending in darkest. And then I would finish off using white gel pens. And it seemed to have a great effect, and I really enjoyed working on that. I worked on lighting a lot, like that there. Nice core lighting with a kind of a halo effect. Some of these pieces are more detailed than others. Some were done quickly, some took longer to do. Yeah, tried to get different effects on creatures, monsters, angry bunny men, slimy cartoon creatures. And I think I had pretty good success incorporating those different tools together. And it really was about trying to put in the hours, get at least one of these done every day, I didn't make it every day. You'll see gaps here if you're following along with I dated these, so you'll notice I have a few gaps here and there. And that's okay. Worst thing you can do is mess with yourself, like try to put yourself down for not keeping up with something. Just realize things happen, life happens, work happens, school happens, whatever. A little bit more watercolor work, just playing around, experimenting, seeing what happens. Then I got into a very tiny micron pen phase. One good thing about that is that it did not bleed through. This particular Moleskine sketchbook, for some reason, had very flimsy, thin tissue, paper thin pages. So whenever I used marker, see, I ended up losing a page. These next few pieces were based off of another book. This one was of photography. I loved it, called Wildermann, or Man. It's 2 N's. These books, the tools and stuff, I have in the description below. So if you're interested, please check them out. Either use them or use something else that they help inspire you to get. But yeah, this is a great photography book. After that, I just went back to experimenting. This piece and the next one are based off of a couple photographs from online. Very happy guy. No teeth, but boy is he happy. Probably watching The Walking Dead while I did that guy. More work on that core lighting with the halo effect. I like that. Groot. Probably watch Guardians of the Galaxy with that. Kind of an underlighting. And it's really not about making great pieces or something that you think pushes you greatly forward. That's more for a final piece or specific studies. Sketchbooks are just for sketching. There we go, back to the thick paper. I was very happy. But yeah, sketchbooks, they're just for exercising your abilities, trying out new styles, emulating other people's works, trying out new tools. These pieces here were inspired by another illustrator, James Bama. Great work. He's great with lighting, color, and stuff like that. Famous for doing Doc Savage comic book covers, I think. There we go. I think that's Doc Savage piece. Norman Rockwell inspired piece. I think the next one is too, if I remember. Yeah, great for studies. Did a portrait of, what was that, Eisenhower? And then some of these are quicker. Some of these have marker. I think I was running out of that middle gray marker at that point. I have no idea what that is, but something. Another zombie. And another one that just incorporated pen, no marker. And I believe this one and the next few I used ballpoint pen. And there's no reason why you need expensive tools to work on your sketches or artwork. You can work with ballpoint pen, cheap mechanical pencils. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. If you get the opportunity to play with other things, go ahead, but why break the bank? These pieces are in pencil. They're back from 2022, a couple years ago. And this is from Mutation March, where you take different animals each day and you mutate them into different things, like piranha, raccoon, Jabba the piranha, Gila monster, chick, things like that. Crazy creatures here. This is more the style that I use for my creature design, character design, some of my storyboards I do for commercials or video games. Basically my 9-to-5 job. And, you know, I incorporate some googly eyes, because why not? I think that was for the I. So you got the I and the I. Please excuse the couple of pages cut out here. I've got some client work on there that I can't show. This is one of the rare ones where I used pen and marker. It had a cool effect there with the penguins. It's kind of a John Carpenter thing. Grizzly bear, I think. Clam tarantula and the oh daddy long legs. Sorry. What is that? Clam or something like that. Teeth, eye, and guts. Just because. And these are very rough thumbnails for a webcomic. Just like the very first step. You know, you have your story. Big chubby pigeon guy. You have your story and you just rough it out just for you. Somebody else would look at it and just look at it as chicken scratching, but makes sense to me. That's another thing. Don't worry about having your sketchbook be nice and neat. Oh, Mandalorian I never worked on, or I never finished. It doesn't have to be nice and neat. It just has to be for you. It's for you, your own goals. If you just wanted to sketch out some ideas and throw in a, I don't know, grocery list, that's fine. Why not? You can do something like this. I have a dumb little cartoon. Guy is pestered by a radioactive mosquito. He gets bit and he doesn't gain the powers of a mosquito. His hand becomes one. Yeah. Anyways, here's more of the webcomic, trying to come up with the character design, the color design, bad guy. It didn't go too far. I did a few pages, but that was about it. Different monster designs. Yeah. Shape designs. I think that page there I was teaching T-ball. And I was trying to decide how cartoony or realistic I wanted the character to be. So I was working on head shapes. That, I don't know. That could be a pastry character. Maybe a donut or something. Yeah, just sketches. Just loosening up before I do some other work. There you go. And now we're going to move on to this last mutation march. I'm just going to show that in the recent sketchbook. I'm not going to go any further. These are also in pencil, also in a large sketchbook. I just found it lent itself well for the mutation march characters. A honey badger, mayonnaise badger, and a rabid honey badger. Frill lizard flashing you. Anyways, it's time for a new sketch. And this one, I had a fun little idea of a forest spirit who's curious about these kids in their treehouse within its forest. It's not mean or nefarious, it's not cruel, it's just curious. But it's big. So curious can go a long way for something that big. And within the picture here, you'll see it's bending the treehouse towards it to get a better look. One of the kids has a super soaker squirt gun. It's firing at the creature to distract it while his friends climb down the rope ladder and run away. I just did the I did the kids as stickmen, so the focus was the forest spirit, not the little stickmen characters. This was done, as with many of my sketches, pencil, well, I guess I used a pencil rough first, but many of my sketches are ink, marker, and then white gel pen for highlights. So I wanted this character to be kind of happy, a little scary looking, but benign. Mouth is the highlight, of course, big old teeth and open maw. I almost went color with this, but I decided black and white was going to work pretty good. I didn't want to distract from the story too much, and I thought maybe the color would be too much. Adding some more texture with the grayscale marker. I thought that worked out pretty well. Blended into the darkness on its belly, into the fur. There's the white of the gel pen, worked great for the water coming off of the squirt gun. I tried to pop the little stickmen characters out a little more so you could actually see them. Glint in the eye. And yeah, we're finishing up here. I think we're going to do some highlights on the grass and then darkness around the outside of the forest spirit, and then that's going to be it. I really do recommend that you try out sketchbooks, especially these small ones, because it gives you a lot of freedom to draw wherever you want. It's a lot of fun too, and it'll give you some great results. Well, if you like this and you're still around, I invite you to please hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't. I do videos like this and art videos, how-to videos, educational videos, and I hope you'll come back for more. Until next time.